I just had a really interesting and telling conversation with a police officer here in Williamsport. I was trying to pay a traffic ticket, a parking ticket, really, $10 because the officer doesn't like Jeeps with big wheels, apparently. Anyway, long story short, it's $10. Okay. But the conversation moved to other things like there's a bar that is downstairs from us, famously, and there is always something going on at the bar. Some kind of disturbance, something going on, somebody getting in a fight, somebody, pulling a hammer out and hitting somebody. It gets pretty crazy. And the officer's first suggestion was get out of there fast. And I said, well, we can't. We're locked into a lease, so that's not going to happen. Second, we have nowhere to go. So I'm not moving out. That's not an option. I'm going to be here for a year. But then we started talking about the crime in this city, and it turns out, back 50 years ago, and I've talked about this before, 50 years ago, they started bringing people from Philly up here who were drug dealers, apparently. In addition to being migrants and immigrants and things of that nature, they brought basically the people that they didn't want in Philly, they brought here to Williamsport. I don't know what they thought would happen, but what has happened is that there's been a huge crime uptick here. Especially now, apparently there are a lot of gangs running around, but they're unorganized gangs, which is the worst kind, because the organized gangs, at least they understand that there is a relationship between the police and the gangs. And the gangs will, even though they'll do gang things, they'll sell their drugs and they'll murder their people, which is horrible, but at least there is some kind of strategic understanding there. It's kind of like Russia and the US, they understand that they're going to do what they're going to do, and they don't really have much authority over it, but they're going to try and fix things. But the unorganized ones, they're the ones that are really, really dangerous, because then you're showing off for your peers more than you're trying to get the respect of gang members. And unfortunately, in a lot of gangs, you don't have elders because they die too quickly. And so you have that culture going on here. He just told me about a 13-year-old they pulled in because he was 13 and wandering the streets, and they pulled him in, sat him down, and he doesn't have any parents. They don't want to deal with him. His grandparents don't want to deal with him, and Child Protective Services doesn't want to do anything with him. Now that's pretty bad. When you're releasing 13-year-olds back on the street, the only thing they're going to learn is how to be a street person. And street people, they fight to survive. They don't often come up by their bootstraps and do good in the world. They're often sucked into the lives of crime, and that's a nature versus nurture thing, and I think that is a nurture part of it. But at any rate, I'm smoking a cigar today. I'm trying to relax and calm down. This is the Guamaro or Himaro or Guayamaro, or however you pronounce it. Somebody will correct me on that. One of my favorite cigars. I saw it on Small Batch and I said, man, I got to get a box of them. Fantastic cigar made by Nika Sueño. Definitely pick it up if you get a chance. Now, back to Williamsport, there's some fireworks going off, which means my dog's going to be scared every night until probably the 10th, when they stop putting off the fireworks. But, it is what it is, right? I picked up the paper. My mom's obit's in there. It looks great. She'd be very happy. She's in the middle of the page. There are only 2 obits with pictures in there, and she's center of the page, so you cannot miss it if you pick up the paper. And most people her age pick up the paper, so there's that. Anyway, that's me venting. I hope that you have a good day today, whatever day it is for you that you're watching this. In her obit, my wife put something down that I really, really appreciate, and that is, in lieu of flowers and in lieu of condolences, reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, or reach out to an estranged family member. Be that bigger person. I don't care what the beef is. Whatever the beef is, you can probably squash it. It's probably blown up in your head to something that is way bigger than it should be. Talk to them if you can. And if you don't have family, if you can't make those reconciliations, you probably have friends like that. And if you don't have friends like that, well, just contact me. I'll be your friend. Take it easy.